So this is basically about today's news that's pissing me off. Two things. I was on Twitter earlier. This is hours ago now, but I ended up freaking out about everything and throwing a crying fit. But anyways, MJ Innocent, hashtag MJ Innocent was trending, and I'm like, okay. So I look, and it's about, I guess, those guys, those dirtbags who kept trying to make money off of him and stupid accusations. The ones that were, I guess, the part of that fucking HBO documentary thing, because HBO's a bunch of C words. I guess they got their case dismissed for the third time, meaning that's it. You know. But yet they get to make those kinds of movies. They get to have that. HBO gets to use it for propaganda, to generate more money, to besmirch the name of a beloved world icon who only wanted to bring people together. He's so much better off not on this planet with these shitty people. But the point is, I'm looking at it. I was already upset about things, but I'm looking at it, MJ, and then people are tweeting, he's vindicated, he's vindicated. I'm like, he's not vindicated. He's dead. Okay? He's never coming back. These people, he tried to make us all happy. He tried to make the world have a good time, be completely entertained with his God-given gifts. He tried to help people. He just cared about the world when the world treated him like shit. And everything they did to him, the man couldn't sleep. That's why he needed the propofol from the fucking doctor who killed him on purpose. And he's never coming back. He doesn't get to be happy. He doesn't get all those trials and all that dragging through the mud erased. People will always believe that horrible shit about him that was never ever true, because people are garbage and they want to believe that stuff about somebody because they're so jealous of who they could never be. And I'm just sitting there, and I already felt bad. I started crying more because I'm like, the man, it doesn't matter now. He's been dead for how long? We've had to live in this shitty world without him for how long? He was robbed of a happy life. He was robbed of everything he deserved for everything he did for people while he was alive. We were robbed of him. The world was robbed of somebody who was actually really a spiritual leader in terms of trying to bring the world together, as I've said before. They didn't come after him until that video for Black and White. He was no problem till then, right? And now they're saying vindicated. There's no vindication. You're never going to get him back. We're never going to set the world right again. You know? And it's just, it made me so sad for the people going, yay, vindicate him. Like, there's no celebration here. There's no celebration to be had. It does nothing. It does nothing. It doesn't correct shit. I mean, if we could get a bird's eye view in the future, like a live stream of seeing these people rot in hell, it still wouldn't be vindication for everything that man was put through, for what we all lost, for what he lost. I mean, the other story, the other thing that's driving me crazy, I'm watching, it's 5:46 on April 26th, and I'm watching BBC World News, and they're talking about the horrible situation in India with the virus. And I saw earlier this morning also on the Today Show about it, and how they're running out of oxygen. They need oxygen. So our government's response is to send them vaccines, when I'm like, why can't we send them oxygen? You know, maybe we will, but and now I'm saying to myself, is there an oxygen shortage? But the thing that pissed me off about both news people, I like Richard Engel. I mean, of course, with everything the way it is, they they have to do the bidding of their bosses, so nobody's completely uncompromised anymore. But both he and this woman, I forget her name, the blonde lady on BBC World News, they both are telling the whole story. Then they have to explain to us, the viewers, that the reason why we should give a shit about these Indian people dying at record numbers is because, well, eventually it could mutate and come here. And this is what makes me so disgusted with news reporters. And I don't know if it comes from them or if it comes from up on high. The disdain and the beasts that they think that we are. They think that we can't possibly care about the Indian people unless somehow their deaths or the spread of the virus there or a mutated version of the virus might possibly come to Britain or the United States. Because if there's a bunch of them dying over there, who cares? We would never care about that, right? Who gives a shit? So they both had to make sure that they explained to the folks at home, oh, here's why you should give a shit. Because, you know, it could mutate and then eventually get to us. I'm so sick of it. I'm so tired. You hear all the noise? All the noise. Window's not open. I didn't grow up in the ghetto, but I grew up in this house. But now I live in the ghetto. They said the census came out or whatever, and it said something like we haven't had as little population growth since the 1930s. I'm like, you kidding me? I most days in this neighborhood, I feel like there's people crawling on top of my head. And for the last 20 years, I felt like there's not enough room to exist because there's so many freaking people. But I have said in the last couple weeks, all of a sudden it seems barren. Today, what was it? Like 11 o'clock in the morning? I'm walking through a parking lot that has a Dollar Tree and a Big Lots, right? I'm walking through that parking lot to cross the street towards Burger King. I'm walking past McDonald's toward Burger King and then eventually Walmart. No freaking people. No freaking people. 11 o'clock in the morning. Now, I've been doing this for years. I've been doing it often enough during the pandemic. No freaking people. Again, a tumbleweed could have gone by. And I'm like, it's strikingly odd compared to normal, because I do this all the time. I do this all the time. I take the bus, so I will get off on one side, cross, maybe stop for lunch, and then go all the way. I walk through there all the time. In the freezing cold, in the snow. It's not empty like that. There's been an emptiness, a void of people, a stillness, an eerie, like everybody's dead or something, or they're all hiding in the house. You think to yourself, is something going on? I don't know if the future I've been envisioning, where people don't have money and people don't do anything, is happening. I was saying to myself, is it happening? Is it now that people have been trained by the pandemic and the lockdowns to just stay home, don't go to the store for no good reason, don't go to, you know, a fast food restaurant for no good reason, don't get in your car because the gas is too much, just stay the hell home, watch Netflix and chill. I mean, just stay home all day. Don't go anywhere. And because people are now accustomed to not going out, because open back up, go ahead, things have been opening back up. But like I said, even during the middle, I mean, a couple months ago in the pandemic, like I said, in the cold, it wasn't like this. Something is happening. I feel like the economic strife I've been talking about, where the people on the bottom are not going to have money to do the things, forget going to a sports game or play or theater, movie theater or restaurant. I said the people on the bottom who've been compromised by the situation that the media refuses to continue to acknowledge. They acknowledged them for a minute when they saw the bread lines and the what do you call it? soup kitchen lines and stuff like that. They acknowledged it then, and they were so shocked by it, which was ridiculous, but they don't acknowledge those people anymore. Again, just like years past with the forest fires, and I'd be like, where did them people go? And the media never tells you what happens. Once people are on the bottom, the media act like they don't exist. So I've been wondering what's happening. It can't just be me having a hard time. People didn't get their jobs back and stuff. There are people who didn't have jobs in the first place. A lot of stuff happened to a lot of people. And the last couple of weeks, I'm walking around, like I said, there's hardly anybody. And I'm like, this is odd. This is newly odd. Just a barren wasteland. Okay? And like I said, I've been going as I could to, Wendy's or Burger King. Not because I can afford it, because that's the only normalcy I had. I need to go and sit. Like today, Burger King. Order off the dollar menu. Get a value fry, value Coke, and double cheeseburger, right? So $3 plus tax, right? The worst fries I've ever seen in my life. I ate like 4 or 5 of them just to have the time to sit in there and stare out the window, because that's what I always did. I would go to these places, have my notebook or have something to write on, and just write out my thoughts, not journal, but just either write what I gotta do, or if I did have something on my mind, scribble it down, be able to calm myself and think and be present and, center myself. That's what I've always done. I don't know why. I can't read in the house. I can't do stuff. Can't figure out my life in the house. I gotta go be somewhere. Like I said, I love sitting in a Dunkin' is the best, because you get warm stuff, and I haven't sat down in a Dunkin' Donuts for over a year. Desperate to do that. So I'm used to these areas and frequenting these places. I know what it's supposed to look like. I know what it's supposed to look like during normal times and since lockdown. So Wendy's and Burger King have been open. McDonald's and Dunkin' think that they don't need to open for bad people like me who don't have cars. So in the places where I have been going, there's less people than there was last month. When I'm crossing the street, which is a very busy street, there's less cars than last month. One time last week or whatever, I went to the beach, it was like nobody existed. Everything I was, again, when I was walking through, I said again to myself, is this not real life anymore? I said about, is this a simulation? There's something that I was just saying, something is completely different than it was last month, a couple weeks ago. Something's not right. Everybody's missing. Everybody's either home, or I don't know. I don't know. But I get more and more disgusted every day. I can't take it every day. I watch the news. I've always watched the news. And I know a lot of people who they don't want to watch the news. It upsets them. This is not the news that upsets me. It's just the idea that somehow Michael Jackson was vindicated really got me, because I was already feeling like shit about what the world is. That Michael Jackson has always been a prime example of what the shit world does to people. And just for them to be like, yeah, vindicated, I'm like, there's no such thing. It's just not possible. You can't rewind time. I wish to God that would give me hope. If I could find a way to go back to the 80s, if I could turn back time, right? But no, I can't. It's all wrong. It's all bad. I'm sick of it. And what I see and what I hear not only reiterates it or doubles down on it for me, it just makes me feel like, how is my mind and what the things I think so far, like these people are like almost rejoicing he's vindicated, and I'm just like, all it does is make me feel so much worse about all the crap that ever happened to him. And it's just, how can anybody think that that's a joyous celebration? I don't know. And then what's happening in India, all these other places, the virus, like I said, the virus is going to keep coming back. But now I think the powers that be have realized how much economic damage is done. They realize the economy cannot hang on. They finally figured it out. So they're going to ignore everything and open everything up and pretend that they were always just waiting for herd immunity. We're not going to get there, but they're not going to close down again because they know they can't. If they do, then it'll have to be the whole martial law thing. But I want to say strange things are afoot at the Circle K. It's not a bizarre world. It's like everything is just so mixed in together, and wrong things in the wrong time and the wrong. Nothing fits. You know what I mean? It's like somebody trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle, but some of it is Lego pieces, and then there's like a piece of pizza in the middle. All that stuff doesn't go together. That's what life feels like right now. I don't know. I just, like I said, I wish, I don't know.